Can anyone confirm me if my audio and stream is working perfectly fine in the chat, please? Audio not good. Is it low? Go over the markets at the point. And if you guys have any questions, we can carry on after discussing BTC, right? So first, I'm going to be discussing only BTC right now, and later you guys can have your questions in the chat, right? So I would be on the other screen, so chat won't be visible to me every time. So yeah, let's get into it. Has been still in the same range over the course of quite a weeks from March actually. This low on around like 5th March and the high on 14th March, right? This was our impulsive move and we have been raging since then. So play range, the range high, range low, that's the only thing you need to consider at this point, right? So above this zone, range high is your resistance and this range low remains your support. So whenever price comes above the 71 level, you are looking to sell off your longs. You mm, grabbed here your spot bags, or if you want to get short positions, you're looking to this levels. To that, you have this resistance level right now. First rejection here, second here, constant rejections, deviation, reject back, deviation again this time, and rejecting back. Constantly price getting rejected out. And we have you mid range at 67 158. Now, the reason I go for mid range here is because this is the key level, right? The most important level in this range. The mid range, mostly people consider the 50% level, right? But it is near to the 50%, right? I always have the key level, right? The mid range should be an important level. You might see a SR level, right? Old blocks, demand zones at your mid range. So mid range level. This range mid range comes at 67 158, right? This is the key level, your key level here, and your key level here. These are three key levels. Short here, support, breaks below. You have this zone next, right? So let's discuss mid range first. So for the mid range, this was your first rejection, deviation, right? Price rejected back, then resistance, resistance after that, flip support, support, support zone, deviate, reject, reject, chop, 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 again under the level, right? And then you had constant rejections for a while, rejection, rejection, rejections, and the breakout finally, and this is your support zone now. Now, as of now, your mid range is the support level, right? As we stay above. Now, let's see if we have any demand. We do have a demand zone here from 67.5 to 5. So now I have a I have a key level mid range. I do have my demand zone, right? So can I say this is going to be my support zone? Absolutely yes. This is my support level. Price to push higher from here and where to reject off at 71K. So this is how I would be willing to play the range. Long here, sell here. But what is going to remain in validation? Breaking below this demand. And this demand breaks. This is your short trigger, right? This will remain your short. trigger, right? And you can target it to the next demand zone, which is somewhere here. Not exact, it's a rough plan. Let's go on the R4. What do we have up here? So I have a room to short it to 61K. And this is going to be my first TP, right? The liquidity level 64,567. So now let's talk about risk to reward, right? How I would be willing to play. Now, before this move, this accumulation, all right, this accumulation here, this manipulation, and we are in distribution, a power of three played it. Now I cancel my plan of price pushing higher. Previously, I was way too bullish on BTC, was long here, and was about long here. I had my longs placed on all positions, but reason being simple that BTC is looking quite weak, especially after this AMD. Now, this was your accumulation, this manipulation, and this distribution. And this can lead towards 66. What is this level? 66,156. And once our demand fails, we can fall straight down towards a level of 64K. So if you're willing to buy spot or long BTC, be a little vigilant in my opinion. So that's pretty much it. The main idea for our levels right now on BTC. Working now. Right. So let's get back on the screen again. BTC, as I was saying that this, all right, screen is working. Guys, is screen visible? All right. So as I was saying, this demand is going to be your main key level. Break below, short it towards 64K, right? This is going to be a trigger. After we break down, retest this level, and I will short it. Now let's get to Ethereum. One of the possibilities for Ethereum right now is that we are in this range and we have this huge wick, right? And at a certain time, we are bound to fill it, right? That's how markets move, or at least till this level. So here we do have a breakdown structure being formed at Ethereum. If I come on the 1 hour, right? This fair value gap, we swept it, rejection inside, fair value gap, rejection. Now the key level right now is 3820, right? Break below, this is going to remain my short trigger if 1 hour candle closes below, because I was about to short here, this zones, but we failed to break below this level. So I'm still waiting. Break below, retest short, stops at either this high and TP at the range lows, first at the mid range. So I'm bearish on Ethereum for the shorter term with the BTC breaking down. So if we actually go there, we do have this imbalance level, right? We have this 50% of imbalance, then this demand zone. So we have quite a lot of levels under 3,500, 3,400 zone. Under 3,400, we have the room to bounce. But the gap here from 37 to 3,400 is huge, right? So that's a little bit concerning for me for a quick flush, right? In case market drops below, we might see a quick flush, chop chop under this range, low, tap this range low, break below this range low, retest it and move lower, right? So we have a lot of margin to drop. So for altcoins, they didn't pump like ETH did. But in case it dumps here, alts can bleed hard, right? So as always, stay vigilant when taking your positions. So this range is your key play right now. This is how market is basically going to move, right? Inside this range, range high to range low to range high, then range high to range low. Until and unless price breaks above, you can long, price breaks below, you can short. If this 1 hour level is broken, you can short the retest. And in case it breaks down, bounces off mid-range, and then reclaims, you can long here towards the range high again. So these are 3, 4 scalps that you can take on Ethereum. You can note it down as well, right? So that is my plan for Ethereum on the shorter term, just to play range high, range low, and mid-range. These 3 levels, wherever offered. Do you think overrated? I would rather say Ethereum is overpriced at this point. Overpriced is a good word, but for a shorter term. Ethereum is too bullish on the high time frame and its narrative. So you have this whole build of liquidity, you can purge hard towards the 3,500 level. And if we do, odds can bleed hard. With BTC dominance, let's check BTC dominance. So on the weekly, we have this small support level, not a major one, small support level. Let's see, do we hold it or not? Right, this whole zone remains my support level, and in case Ethereum dumps and this bounces off here towards this weekly resistance, we can see a major flush. But again, all depends how the prices move. We can just accelerate down, right? That is going to be the best scenario. Let's go on daily. Did we? Yup, we gotta break this level, retest, and we will flush down. So that is pretty much for BTC dominance. Okay, after BTC, please check ING sold those. Let's go over Solana. So for Solana, we reclaimed this range. We were moving in 162 to 1 to 10 range. We formed this level, right? Now, the ideal approach that I'm looking for when trading ranges like this, price ranges, deviates, get back inside and form a demand zone and long it towards the range high. That's my usual plan. But with BTC being at resistance level, I'm not comfortable going long or buy Solana here. So for the extreme scenario, I have marked out this level 146 to 143. I would be willing to take a map along here. Let me adjust the colors. Right. Stops at this low 137.78 and TP at the range high, right? Something like this. Now, till the point the range low might become like this because we have this rejections here, support near here. So, yeah, you can say that this consolidate here, a major dump, then chop, chop, slow grind up, reclaim this level, and then continue its move down. So for Solana, I would say 146, 143 is the perfect area. And I don't think so we go more lower than that in this rally. Right? If you look on the high time frame, we always have seen this move. Price range, deviate, reclaim, and then towards the range high. Right? Similar here. Small wicks down, reclaim, bounce off. Similar to that right here as well. You had this slow form deviation below, right? A fake move, convincing everyone go down, and then you can continue pushing back higher. So this is what you can do for Solana. All right. So we were discussing Solana. So these deviations are similar to that structure for today. We can say that 146, 143 is offered. That is going to remain the best long Solana, right? Same level. Either you could, if you're looking to buy in spot, take first entry at this 157.59 level and DCA at 140, 146, 143. Right. Next is INJ. Now the problem with INJ. Now for INJ and similar approach to FET as well, they need, I think, time, right? They need to start consolidating, slow grind up, flip this 29 level, and then you can see a rally in INJ. So the high time frame suggests that INJ needs time, and slowly it is going to flip 29. After 29 is flipped, you can position yourself here when the move is like this, and you can ride the play towards the all-time highs that is going to be around 53. Now let's go with the low time frame and see if we have a scalp opportunity. Oh, right, similar. Recently, I started mainly trading on ranges, so all my charts are going to look like this. You have a range high, supply, range low, demand. That's working best for me till now. So I started working on that. So let's use fibs as well. In this case, and you have the ski level of the golden pocket slightly above and the 786 level. So I would consider this whole zone for me. And here we had the rejection of the supply, and I have this liquidity build up here. We can purge inside this demand. 23.180 is going to be your entry. Either you could enter at the range high, at the demand top, have a DC, have three entries, second at the range high, a range low, and the third at the bottom of the demand. And your TP, you can swing it, right? At least 35 levels. We do have a supply right here, something like this over here. So INJ plan is going to be wait till 23 zone. After Doge, we will go over near. So that is my plan for INJ. Let's do Doge. I still do have my swing position running on Doge. So for Doge on the shorter time frame, we do have this supply zone, right? And this aligns with the 2022 yearly open. We have failed to break through this level, and constant rejections we might dump straight under these lows, right? And this demand can be next support zone, hitting my stop at B, if in this case dumps. So I have not yet closed my position. I have runners left with stops break even. And waiting, if in this case the supply gets flipped, we take a new long position, right? At 22 yearly open and stops at this certain low and target the previous month open or second quarter's open. So this is going to remain. Now, for now, I would say Doge is in a no trade condition. I don't see any set of form, right? Now, the time. by the time it comes near 0.1413, we might can see a long play from this major SR level, right? But for now, no setup for me, in my opinion. But in the case, if you ask me for the longer run, you could accumulate it at any retest provided of this SR level, right? That is going to be a good buy zone because this is the last zone, and if we break through it, we have quite a gap, at least to 0.11. That I don't think so comes up unless BTC have has a hard down, right? So for Doge, this is the plan. Next up, we have near, near. I bought it in spot on spot at 6, right? This is the weekly chart. So weekly chart has basically flipped these SR levels here. Resistance, support, resistance, now flipped, acting as a support. Between this low and high, we have golden pocket, right? Which price is perfectly bounced off. Now, any low time frame retest is going to be your spot buy zone, and your target is easily at 20 plus. So you can easily take, and it is showing a lot strength recently. Let's go on the low time frame and see if we do find any structure. I have a question for you guys. Do you guys see any range formed here? Any range formed here on here on the 4 hour? You guys have seen like, enough examples to tell if you see any range or not. This will remain my range low, and this will be my range high, right? Test of range low, deviation, reclaim. This was the retest, and then we had this form. So we have formed this support level, right? This liquidity level, and we do have a demand aligned with the range lows at the R4. That is 6.399 to be exact. So yeah, this is going to be my entry for the long position or spot play as well. Stops either this or this low, depending on what you're targeting. If I were to long, I would target the 20 level, right? That is going to be a 12-hour trade for me. This is going to be my long-term trade, a huge swing position, but either in spot you can take this position. This is going to be a low risk, high reward setup, right? Or if you are not comfortable taking a risk, wait for the flip of range high and long here. Or you could pyramid your positions like that. So these two are going to be your setups for near, right? Your key weekly level, right? This 4 hour demand your entry. If you want to have the minimum risk and want to go with the most lowest risk trade, you can wait for flip of range high here and long. My near setup for now. Coin. So for Boo, I was watching this setup, right? Let's start off with the weekly. We have this weekly range low, wicks down, candles closure above, this candle deviated below, reclaim, right? You have the support level as well right here. Now let's go to the R4. On R4, this is going to be your range high resistance zone here with the supply up. In case we reach there, we are likely to have a massive rejection inside the range. Now that is your high time frame range. Let's zoom into the low time frame setup. Now here you have this 1 hour range, range high, deviation. Now this is your breaker block, right? Now the breaker block basically is an order block that was supposed to support the price higher but flipped into rejection zone. This is your breakage setup as well at the range high, and this is my high time frame range demand for our candle. So I would anticipate price to break below this trend line liquidity, retest this level, right? Range low, consolidate here, flush down to the demand, fill my longs, reclaim, back to the range high, flip range high, consolidate, come towards the high time frame range high. This is how I would be playing Woo for now. Right. So this is the game plan for Woo. If you want to short, you can take a scalp here because we are likely to break down. We have a lot of liquidity right here. And something like this would look like a setup short at the range high, SL here, and TP at the range lows. That's a 3.73 or setup if entry is provided again. Something like this. With BTC, you are anticipating it to break down. BTC is somewhere right here at this point. Either it breaks above or breaks down. So it is going to be a little riskier because we don't have a confirmed direction from BTC. But yet again, this is going to remain my trade setup for Woo. Now, the next pair on the list is YGG. So let's start off on the high time frame. Now, YGG, let's go daily. Now, daily resistance zone here, this level as well, and this support zone right here. So this is going to remain my range lows. This is my range high. Now let's find demand and supply zones. Now in this case, our supply zone on R4 is this level. So in case price YGG pushes here, you can see a deviation gap inside the supply, reject back, and you can take a shot towards the lows. Similar to that, in case we bounce up from the demand and tap the range high, we are likely to go to supply first and then continue back down. Right, so this is the plan for YGG. If you guys have any other tokens you want me to analyze or help you out, write it in the chat. Now, Uni, so for the Uniswap, we had this weekly range playing off. We have the supply zone, the daily level, right? And my 4 hour demand here. So Uni is strong after the recent pump. So I would personally long here. I'll get this supply up there, stops under the low. And if I want to short, I might take low time frame breakdown and I would go short here towards my long play. And after the long entry is triggered, I would play towards the highs. Me now JTO, not something. Right. Okay, BCH. Now this is your range lows. This is our range lows. This is our range high. Now this is the high time frame range that will take weeks to play out. But these small ranges in between are the low time frame that you can day trade. So for me, this was the range. Huge deviation above. Tap inside the range high of the high time frame range. I had this liquidity sweep right here. Purge the stop losses and then dump straight toward the range low. Now it has broken down the range low and retested with our R4 breaker here as well. I will mark it as red. Now, if we find a good structure, we can take a short, we can take a nice short position, a clean shot towards this demand zone. So these 3-4 triggers are there. Would be looking to short if I get any retest again, right, stops above this high, and TP at 442.13, or I would TP at 444 demand, right? That is my plan for BCH. So one of the most requested coins are meme coins nowadays. So let's do WIF. All right. So similar to that, same approach again and again. Range low. This was a range high. Now here we rejections, deviation, reject, deviation, reject, reject. Now here we flipped it last night, right? And I placed my limits at the range low because here we had the demand zone. But now the problem with these highly impulsive coins is they don't usually have the complete retracement back into the demand and then move higher. Visit the nearest level and then have immediate rejection above. In this case of wave, limits at the range low went higher. Now again, it can give you a setup now. For me, I'm watching the level again. Either this demand zone, if offered 3.3228, this is going to be a major level. Let's go to R4 and refine the level. So yep, we can say this zone as a valid one. Mark it like this. Any trend line level draw, yep, there. So we can say that any retest provided right here is our long trigger towards 4.34. And this is going to give you a nice move of around 20-30%, right? So keeping your eyes on BIF, BCH for short, and all the points that we discussed. Any other coin you guys want me to discuss with you? Coin? If everything is clear and you guys don't have any questions, so we can end the session right here. Yep, so that's pretty much it for today. I will see you guys on next week, Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in.